One of my most controversial videos was the one in which I harshly criticized Hamas for the death of two young Tanzanians. What struck me is that most of the people who were opposed to my views felt that because they had evidence that these two young Tanzanians had joined some form of Israeli paramilitary, they deserved what came to them. But here's my point. If you have never been jobless, if you have never known where your next job will come from, where your next meal will come from, if your country's economy is not so messed up that you have no idea how you as a young person, how you as a citizen of that country will ever get a decent job, will ever raise a proper family, if you have not experienced that, then do not be quick to judge these two young people, even if it is true that they had done what you say they did. They did not just wake up one morning and choose to do so. What they did would then have been a result of an extremely capitalistic system, a system in which many of you are beneficiaries. Those of you who are extremely quick to judge them, many of you are beneficiaries of this capitalistic system that bleeds Africa dry. They did not just wake up and choose to do what they did, if it is true. So, to paint a black and white brush in which these two young Tanzanians on the one hand are evil, and on the other hand is Hamas, completely pure, completely blameless, is a very erroneous way of looking at it, at least as far as my position as a Pan-Africanist is concerned. What we are saying is that we have to keep addressing the evil that keeps Africa poor. In the same breath that you criticize these young people, you'd also have to criticize the very system that you're a part of. Because if you continue being a beneficiary of that system, then you're being very hypocritical in your criticism of these young people, if indeed your claims are true. So my position is that let us not make the mistake of assuming that a given entity in this world is completely blameless. Our own parents, our own governments are not blameless. So assuming that Hamas is completely holy, completely blameless, and can never ever make a mistake, I think is a totally wrong way of looking at it. Let us have the humility and humanity to understand and accept that human beings are fundamentally flawed, and that human beings from time to time may do stuff that they're not supposed to do. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, that don't be quick to judge these two young Tanzanians irrespective of what they did and completely ignore a system that many of you are beneficiaries of. And even if you're not a beneficiary of that system, even if you're a fellow African who is a victim of this system, I do not think ascribing 100% blame on these young people is correct, because you do not know what drove them to do what they did, if that accusation is true. But if that accusation is not true, if indeed they are just victims of circumstances, then it would be totally wrong to dishonor their memory, because they are not here to defend themselves.